Okay, this is passage one for reading test part two for unit one. It's titled, Do You Want a Robot Companion When You Get Old? You should have your sheet if you want to mark it up, or you can follow along on your own or on the screen. A robot in the shape of a fuzzy baby seal sat on 73-year-old Lois Cement's lap. I know you're not real, she whispered, but somehow I don't know. I love you. The robot named Pero couldn't answer, but it could make cute mewing sounds, move its head, blink its large, adorable eyes. Interactions such as this one are happening at some nursing homes and other elder care facilities around the world. Supporters say that Pero and similar robots provide the same kind of comfort to elderly people as animal therapy, without the risk of allergy or dangers of handling real cats and dogs. Opponents worry cuddly robots will unfairly lead people with dementia to care for uncaring machines. Which side is right? Researchers have shown that Pero can have the same calming effects as medication on agitated dementia patients. Yet Pero has none of the side effects of medication. Plus, when it comes to providing companionship and comfort to the elderly, there just aren't enough people to go around. Being a caregiver is a tough job that often doesn't pay well. A robot companion may be better than none at all. Takeshi Shibata is a Japanese inventor who created Pero. In a video for Financial Times, he said, I made Pero like a human baby size. Pero is a robot, but people feel that Pero is a living animal or baby. Shibata clearly thinks that a robot baby is a good thing, but others aren't so sure. Sherry Turkle, a social scientist at MIT, regularly speaks about the downsides of technology. She witnessed an elderly woman talking to Pero as if the seal were real, and the experience troubled her. In a TED Talk, she said that woman was trying to make sense of her life with a machine that had no experience with the arc of a human life. Turkle is concerned that we are starting to expect more from technology and less from each other. She feels that technology can never replace real life relationships with another person. What do you think? Is Pero a sign that humans are losing touch with each other, or that we're finding new ways to feel connected? Would you want a robot companion when you get old? All right, so you're going to be going on to HMH to answer the questions. The second passage is an audio clip that you will listen to. You can pause this video, and when you're ready, come back and I will read passage three. Okay, passage three, the future of robot caregivers. Each time I make a house call, I stay much longer than I should. I can't leave because my patient is holding my hand, or because she's telling me not to the first time about when Aunt Mabel cut off all her hair and they called her a boy at school, or how her daddy lost his job and the lights were out and her mom lit pine cones and danced and made everyone laugh. Sometimes I can't leave because she just has to show me one thing. But getting to that thing requires that she unsteadily rises unsteadily from her chair, negotiates her walker through the narrow hallways to find whatever is in the the dim light of her bed. I can and do write prescriptions for many of her medical problems, but I have little to offer for the two conditions that dominate her day, loneliness and disability. She has well meaning, troubled daughter in a faraway state, a caregiver who comes twice a week, a friend who checks in on her periodically, and she gets regular calls from volunteers with the friendship line. It's not enough. Like most older adults, she doesn't want to be looked up in one of those homes. What she needs is someone who's always there, who can help with everyday tasks, who will listen and smile. What she needs is a robot caregiver. That may sound like an oxymoron. In an ideal world, it would be. Each of us would have at least one kind and fully capable human caregiver to meet our physical and emotional needs as we age. But most of us do not live in an ideal world, and a reliable robot may be better than an unreliable or abusive human than no one at all. Caregiving is hard work. More often than not, it's tedious, awkwardly intimate, and physically and emotionally exhausting. Sometimes it's dangerous or disgusting. Almost always, it is 24/7, unpaid, and low wage, and has profound adverse health consequences for those who do it. It is work that many people either can't or simply won't do. Many countries acknowledge this reality by investing in robot development. Researchers in the United States are developing robot caregiver protocols as well, but we have been slower to move in the direction. Even with medical community, the idea of machines could help fulfill more than just physical needs, largely with skepticism, occasionally with outrage. Just as Gerald Winkaker, San Antonio internist and geriatrician, put it, just because we digitally savvy parents toss an iPad at our kids to keep them busy and out of our hair. Is this an example we want to set when we ourselves need care and kindness? And yet, search YouTube. You can watch developmentally delayed children doing therapy with a cute blue and yellow Cosmobot that also collects information about their performance. Or you can see other Japanese people with dementia smiling and chatting happily with a robot named Peril that looks like a baby seal and responds to human speech. Sherry Turkle, an MIT professor and technology skeptic, questions such artificial emotional relationships in her book, Alone Together: Why We Expect More from Technology and Less from Each Other. Yet, after watching a 72-year-old woman named Marion interact with Peril, she noted that the woman found comfort when she confided in her Peril. Peril took care of Marion's desires to tell her a story. One proof of the social emotional potential of a robot caregiver is probably right in front of you. If you have walked down any street recently, or sat in a restaurant, or entered in a workplace, you've probably seen numerous people oblivious to the humans with or around them while fully engaged with the machines in their hands or on their desk. Admittedly, people are often interacting with other humans via their machine, but the fact remains that the primary interaction is between person and machine. And despite compelling protests that such interactions do not constitute meaningful, empathetic relationship, they seem to provide stimulation and satisfaction to millions, if not billions of us. Maybe you're one of those people reading this article on a device. But the biggest argument for robot caregiving is that we need them. We do not have anywhere near enough human caregivers for the growing number of older Americans. Robots could help solve this workforce crisis by strategically supplementing human care. Equally important, robots could decrease the high rate of neglect and abuse for older adults by assisting overwhelmed human caregivers and replacing those who are guilty of intentional negligence and mistreatment. In the next decade, robot caregiver prototypes will become more sophisticated. According to Jim Osborne, the executive director of Quality Life Technology Center at Carnegie Mellon, the current limitation is not technology, but finding a viable business model to make it affordable. He said, I really expect that there'll be a robot helping me out when I retire. I just hope I don't have to use all my retirement savings to pay for it. In that new world, my lonely disabled patient's life would be improved by a robot caregiver. Imagine this. Since a robot caregiver wouldn't require sleep, this would always it would always be alert and available in case of crisis. While my patient slept, the robot could do laundry and other household tasks. When she woke, the robot could greet her with a kind human-like voice, help her get out of bed safely, and make sure she was clean after she used the toilet. He would ensure that my patient took the right medication at the right doses, in the right doses. At breakfast, the robot could chat with her about the weather or the news. And then, because my patients love to read, but her eyesight is failing, the caregiver robot would offer to read to her, or maybe would provide her with a large print electronic display of a book, the lightning, and of a book, the lighting just right for her weakened eyes. After a while, the robot would say, I wonder whether we should take a break from reading now and get you dressed. Your daughter is coming to visit today. Are there ethical issues we need to address? Of course. But I can also imagine my patient's smile when the robot says these words, and I suspect that she doesn't smile much in her current situation when she is home alone, hour after hour and day after day. Okay, good luck on your